Okay. Well, we're here. It's the Miami International Autodrome. But for you and me, who thinks this is a piece of shit of a circuit, it's just a big car park as they go around the Miami Dolphins Hard Rock Cafe Stadium. As you can see, Ahmed Sarraj, different driver in the Haas this week. Trying to set a fast lap without his front wing. Interesting take from the Haas team. I'm sure he'll be coming into pit, so let's see who else is potentially on a lap. And potentially, with the purple sector in sector 1, we have Coin, who doesn't appear to be going too quick at the moment in the Alfa Romeo. Bit of a story with the Alfa Romeos this weekend. They actually turned up in Texas, the wrong American circuit. Obviously, to nobody's surprise, with the intelligence levels of Coin and Dill making that mistake. As we see Dill at a time of 1:29.9, the established midfielder, both in Formula 1 and in football. So definitely the one to watch this evening, as he's currently 8 tenths behind the fellow powered by Ferrari Haas with Jamshed's 1:29.5. So the top three at the moment are all Ferrari powered engines. As the top, yeah, they're just the top three. Nobody else has set a time. And Skender, who last week was in the Haas, apparently he's too tall to fit in the Haas, so he's moved along to the AlphaTauri, which has been made for people who are 6'10", and he clocks in at 6'8", and he weighs 21 stone, so it's quite a hefty bit of downforce in the AlphaTauri this weekend. As Instinct yet to have a lap. Nug, the championship leader, he's also in the pits. Yet to have done a lap, he'll be waiting for the track to rubber up, I imagine, get a bit more heat in the circuit. And Duncan, the esteemed Duncan, the leader of this championship, this rabble of men, returns to the pits without a front wing. So there seems to be a bit of a theme at the moment. Drivers around the Autodrome without a front wing, as we see the McLaren of Chico on an out lap. Chico Perez. That's quite a lot of retirements as well so far. So you've got Uji Ashwin, who had a strong race last week in the AlphaTauri. Kevin obviously put it in the wall. Moe, we all know he can be a bit of a handful, if you will, out of the session, as well as Kinder. So both the Mercedes out the race. I'm sure Toto Wolff will be absolutely delighted about that. No Michael, no. As we see RFC in the Red Bull. 1:32.1. I do apologise. He will looking to improve on that time. So once again, a rundown of the current cars to have done a lap. So you have Ross in P1, Jamsheds in the sister Ferrari in P2, Dill, the lead Alfa Romeo, in third, Coin, the other Alfa Romeo, currently in fourth. I think he's currently on a fast lap as well at the moment. Let's just see how he lights up the sectors as he looks to complete sector 1. So let's see what his time is. We'll stay on board with him in the meantime. He appears to be the only one who's really on a lap at the moment. Now entering sector 2, the long straight. He's come up to the very gnarly left-right section, really tight. This is more like a Formula E circuit, this section. And he goes to a little kink left and right over the useless, pointless chicane, all the way down the long straight, which he's definitely going to have to open up here, open up the DRS as soon as he can. Fully on as he approaches the corner, which I'd like to call COD, which is for corner of death. I imagine could be a couple of incidents down there with how tight it is. I imagine people will be outbreaking themselves both inside and outside of the racing line as he goes through the final corner. Squirt to the line now. Let's see if he improves his time. He's not pitting, he's sticking to... Oh, he is pitting. He's did take the line to pit there. Let's see who else. Anybody on our lap at the moment? So you've got Chico Perez in the McLaren. That's probably just better than the actual Perez when he was in McLaren in 2013. Obviously, he only lasted one season before he was dropped. As Chico Perez goes down the long back straight alongside the Hard Rock Stadium. It's a set of solid yet if unspectacular laps so far, plenty of green sections, which tells us... Actually, it didn't tell us anything because it's his first time lap, so... And we've got an Aston Martin off, that'll be Duncan. And to go with a 1:31.1, puts him there or thereabouts. He's at least in the top 8, so at least make an effort to start the race as Ahmed. Oh, it's not Ahmed, Phantom Nug in the sister Ferrari with a 1:29.6, the championship leader, keeping himself in the hunt for this weekend's race at the Miami car park. Let's go to Duncan, let's see what's happened to him. Actually spoke to Duncan pre-race. He fancies his chances ahead of this weekend. He said he's quite delighted to be the only Aston Martin today. All the efforts of the garage will be on him, as well as the hopes and dreams of the Canadian people. So, not set a lap yet. Yep, he's probably fell asleep knowing him. So let's just ride on board with Duncan as he completes his first outlap, which unfortunately taken him 10 minutes to get to this point. He's going to pick up the toe of the AlphaTauri of Kenda, who unfortunately for Duncan, no, he moves out the way, so Kenda's obviously on an in-lap there. He's currently sitting 6th for the 1:29.9. Oh, Duncan pits, so more issues with the Aston Martin. So it's quite quiet at the moment. Now let's go on board with Dill. Dill appears to be coming up. No, it's going to be Coin. Let's see what he's up to. Okay, so just an outlap at the moment for the Alfa Romeo. So there's been lots of events going on this weekend ahead of the race, the grandeur and the spectacle that is the Miami Grand Prix. Actually managed to catch up with a Miami Dolphins legend himself, Dan Marino, and spoke to him pre-qualifying, and he said he fancies the Alfa Romeos to do quite well this weekend. He also fancied Dill to potentially get a podium. I did really question the sincerity of some of his comments, especially when he was 10 pints in, so we'll have to see how that plays off. Obviously, Dan Marino, one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, never to have won a Super Bowl. Similar to Dill, never to have won a race. Kenda not coming out. Coin, who will be completing his outlap. So we're going to go on board with the Alfa Romeo driver. And let's just take a moment to listen to his car and see how his lines are. Just completely misses the effect. Very much a chink left and right there, similar to the Suzuka circuit. Shades of maggots and buckets in this section as we go to the long straight now. There is a couple of little turns left and right, but he should be able to manage to do fine as he comes in 1,000 behind his previous best. Might get a bit lucky as he goes down the back straight. Might get the toe of Duncan in the Aston Martin. No, he hits the wall instead. So we'll leave him for now and we'll go on board with Duncan, the lone Aston Martin this weekend. The hopes of Lance and Lawrence Stroll were heavily on the big underachiever. So he's not necessarily improving at the moment, as you see quite a few yellow sectors from himself. Yeah, I think he just at this point wants to get a lap on the board. I'm sure with the tools at his disposal, he should be able to get it in the top 10. Much to Yuji Ashwin's chagrin, he's currently clinging on to the top 10 place at the moment, even though he's not done a lap. Unfortunately, he retired. So as Duncan negotiates the final corner, he's going to dip to the line now, head down. Let's see what he does, and he manages to get himself into the top 8 on 30.7, taking advantage of the warming track conditions. I don't think he'll have enough time to go around and come back out again, so that appears to be it for him. So one has to speculate with the 6 retirements so far, and only the 10 drivers, they will not be too pleased with where he currently stands. And Corin runs off. You'll hear me say that a few times this evening. Chico moves up to P7 with a 130.4, the lone McLaren, Chico Perez. Still yet to come out. Phantom Nug. So we'll stay on board with the championship leader, who is rolling to the line. Not entirely sure what he's doing. He's giving a tour to his teammate. There we go, see? I don't miss anything. There we are. So Jamshed takes the tour. I'm pretty sure we could have left that for the longer straight rather than the short squirt down to turn 1. Interesting tactics by the Ferrari clowns. Sorry, strategists on the pit wall. So Jamshed's wanted P3 for 129.5. So let's see how his first sector goes. Straight rather than the short squirt sector. Retirement from the session now. As the Haas gets out of the way. In the session now. Yellow flags in sectors 2 and 3. 2 and 3. It's not going to distract the Ferrari driver. Comes that final corner. Take the tour of the McLaren. No. This could be provisional pole position here. Yeah. Thanks for that. And it is no improvement whatsoever from Jamshed's in the Ferrari. So at the moment he's provisionally P3 with Ross in the Haas, who's now going to go for pole position. He needs to improve by 7 tenths, but he's been done no favours by the Ferrari, who's not got out of his way there. He's going to be in his toe, potentially dirty air. But then again, I think Phantom Nug's actually on his own fast lap, so it's going to be interesting to see if he can get ahead of his teammate. He needs to improve by 2 tenths. Championship leader. He's purple in sector 1. Obviously Ross will be getting a toe as well. He's not purple in sector 1 or green, so And that brings the session to an end. So, as he negotiates the pointless chicane, comes down to the long straight now. He's going to hope that the tour that he's given to Ross isn't going to impede him somewhat, so Ross can't try and overtake. He's purple again in sector 2. Actually, Ross is purple in sector 2, so we're going to be in for a bit of a ding-dong finale to the qualifying with the Ferrari and the Haas in second and fourth, presently both vying for position to be leading the cars through turn 1 in the impeding race. And Phantom Nug dives to the line. Let's see how this one's going to go. He might have just given it to Ross with towing him around, and he has, but Ross can only improve to P2. Phantom Nug improves to P3 ahead of his teammate, so the Ferrari garage will be delighted to see the driver, who is the team leader, ahead of his teammates. But overall, they'll be happy to P3, P4. So it's a Haas front row of Ahmed Al Sarraj, Ross 0502, then two of the Ferrari powered drivers. The actual works Ferrari team, Phantom Nug, Jump Sheds, Big Kenda in the AlphaTauri, Duncan, who does improve to 6th place in the Aston Martin, he'll be somewhat delighted with that. Dill, with only the one lap in the lead Alfa Romeo, takes P7, Trico Perez 8th in the lone McLaren, Coyne in 9th in the Alfa Romeo, good showing for him to get it in the top 10. RFC in the Red Bull in 10th, and then unfortunately we have 6 retirees. Yuji Ashwin in the AlphaTauri, who will start 11th, Kieran in the Williams, who will start 12th, Moe, the second Mercedes, in 13th, Instinct in 15th in the Williams, and the lead Mercedes driver Kinder in 16th, so watch out for him coming through the grid if he doesn't get taken out. So that completes the qualifying session ahead of the Miami car park race. Just going to go for a short break.
They'll be here in a minute.
Okay, provisionally, there's your grid with Haas 1, 2, Ferrari 3, 4, AlphaTauri 5, Aston Martin 6, Alfa Romeos with McLaren in the middle, like an Oreo, and you have Red Bull of RSC in 10th, Ashwin in the AlphaTauri, Williams and Kieran, Moe in the Mercedes, myself commentating in 6th in the Williams, and Kinder in the Mercedes. Quite an unspectacular qualifying session there, really, I must say. It was a bit of a shame that we only had 10 drivers with 6 retirees. So I need to retire from the session here because unfortunately I've managed to have acquired a Red Bull. Did I hear Red Bull? It's a wet race. There's strategy. What am I going to do? I think... Well, I can't start on the dry tyres. Do apologise, I'm going to have to do this pointless lap. Actually, I'll just try and pull out the way.
Okay, how was that pull away? You'll have a bit more grip than that on the start, but we need to warm the tyres properly now. Make sure you get some heat into the brakes as well.
Yeah, for those of you joining us, I'm going to have to just do this lap and then I'll retire and I can commentate them. Oh, I tell you what, we'll fancy racing against that Mercedes. Look at his connection levels. Oof, eek, eek, eek. Would not like to be so come the start of this race. I'm not even sorry. I don't race, I don't drive. To put me in wet conditions, it's yeah, less than ideal. Somewhat. As we just wait for the grid to reform. Anybody have any questions? Just write in the comment box. Ask Tej. I'm happy to answer any questions about the race. Nothing rude. Nothing uncouth. Anything to do with racing. And indeed the Mayhem F1 League. As you see the pole sitter, Ahmed's coming through. Ross, second Haas in P2. Two Ferraris. Kendra and the AlphaTauri. I don't think commentators are supposed to get this close, but I'll take it for this. Oh, there's the two Alfa Romeos, look at them. The only time you see them with a front wing. I just hope Coyne didn't run into his own teammate. Oh, come on, we formed the grid. Away, lads. I don't think I've ever seen a session where Kieran's not been disqualified. Okay, and we are now racing. And Ross gets away in P1. He's already got a gap of 7 tenths to Ahmed Al-Sarraj in the Haas. We've had an incident. Let's see where it goes to. So Coyne, you could put a 5 on that and you could have got 10p back for him over an incident. He's lost a front wing, as I touched on earlier. He would lose his front wing. Moe in 14th, sorry, in the Mercedes RFC, just picking his way through. Let's see if anybody's lost any positions. I think quite possibly might have done. Didn't change the details. So the position changed. So you had Kinderesa in the Mercedes. Watch out for him. He's going to make his way up the grid, as well as Instinct in the Williams. About time that he returned a decent points position to his team. And Yuji Ashwin, who started in 11th place, already up to 8th. So let's go on board with the race leaders, and it's Ross who's managed to get away off the line ahead of his teammate. Jamshed has also managed to jump his own teammate at the start, so Phantom Nug, the championship leader, is coming 4th, and he's got the attentions of Kenda behind him, so the front 5 have managed to escape as Chico Perez tries to fend off the advances of Duncan. There's already a bit of a gap opening up there, 3 seconds already on the opening lap, and Duncan potentially going to have a look around the outside. Is he going to make it stick? Hopefully Trico's seen him. Yep, looks like Trico is going to concede the position, so Duncan, the fast driver, manages to go through, and the first lap of the race goes to the race leader. Ross, purple, all 3 sectors, just needs to keep it straight for the next 28 laps, and he will be looking at a race victory. The gap to his teammate currently is over 1.3 seconds, got 2 seconds to Jamshed's Phantom Nug, who is after putting a bit of hard work here. I'll at least have a word with his teammate to say, can you let me through? You need it for the championship. Kenda is in hot pursuit in the AlphaTauri, and he's got absolutely nobody behind him. He's got 4 seconds to Duncan, so if I was Kenda, and Kenda's looking for a move on Phantom Nug as he takes the left-hand side down to the long. He's through. He's on the outside, so Kenda moves up to 4th. Fantastic move from the AlphaTauri driver. I'm sure Franz Tost in the AlphaTauri pit lane garage will be delighted with that, and Phantom Nug looks to try and come back. I think with the championship lead and generally being quite a cautious driver, I think he'll let the race open up before he makes any kind of moves. He's got another 20 laps to play with, so I'm pretty sure he'll be cool, calm and confident as we see the helicopter cam there. So Jamshed, who's been dropped by El Sarraj, he's got a second to try and gain, but he's also gone purple in the middle sector. As we see, Ross going off the racing line appears to be trying to cool his tyres already there. Interesting tactics early on from the Haas, and doing that he's managed to lose a couple of temps to his teammates, so the battle at the front could be heating up. I don't think these are actual teammates. I think Ahmed is just filling in today as Ross goes quickest once again, purple in all 3 sectors, so the Inters in the Haas, or on the Haas model point, are absolutely switched on as we see Phantom Nug not letting Kenda get away, 4 tenths behind, and Duncan has managed to close that gap down. It was 4.2 into sector 2 the last lap, and the gap is now down to 3.5. And you can also see Duncan has managed to drop Chico Perez, who is really fending off the advances of Yuji Ashwin in the sister AlphaTauri. He'll be in a hurry to try and get this move done as quick as he can. We know that he's got a bit of pace. He showed that last week at Canada. As there's a yellow flag in sector 1, I'm going to guess it might be the... Oh no, Duncan's retired from the session. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but Duncan, he'll be absolutely beside himself with anger, frustration, and whatever else you can conjure up, because he was running well. He really was. He had a gap to Tricot, and now Tricot trying to fend off the advances of Yuji Ashwin. Yuji Ashwin takes the inside line. Is the McLaren driver going to fend or fight him? No, he is not. He's going to save it for another day, as we have Dill fighting the fast moving Mercedes of Kinder Racer, who is currently 9th. He's moved up 7 places, and he's moving left, moving right. He's all over the gearbox of the Alfa Romeo. Dill just needs to keep calm. There's a good haul of points on offer here for the Alfa Romeo drivers if they just manage to keep it on track for 28 laps. As we see the yellow flag in sector 3, I think he might just be looking to let the Mercedes driver go here, but he's not going to make it easy for him as Kinder looks to go to the right hand side, but no, Dill sticks his ground. And while these two are squabbling, Tricot Perez has managed to stick with Yuji Ashwin, the gap down to 7 tenths. He just wants to get in that tow, make sure the AlphaTauri is towing him around, if you will. So let's just go back on board with the leaders. We've already changed position. Ross has gone off somewhere. Do apologise for missing that. So Oda Suarez is now the race leader. Jamshed's the other Ferrari in 2nd place. Ross in 3rd. Kenda, this could be a fantastic battle here. You've got Ross in the Haas, the fast moving Kenda, who's really got the tyres switched on in this wet conditions. He's definitely gone for a wet race setup as compared to his dry qualifying. He's definitely in the hunt here. He just wants to keep it nice and clean. And now his tyres are getting scrubbed. He's definitely the man on the move. The gap to Phantom Nug is upwards to 8 tenths. I think the championship leader will just want to stay there or thereabouts as we see Kenda look to have a move inside the Haas as we go around this gnarly chicane section once again, as now we're going back to Jamshed, who's literally going to be dragging the 3 drivers behind him. This is the Jamshed's train with Ross in the Haas, the Ferrari powered Haas. As he opens the door, he was never going to put a move on, he was just trying to let him know that he was there, just showing his nose, saying look, I am behind you, trying to incur a mistake from the Ferrari driver, who so far appears to be handling the pressure quite well. And they appear to have dropped Kenda, so they've dropped him by a second, so these two appear to be towing each other along, get themselves out of trouble, as Phantom Nug appears to have got his intermediate tyres switched on now. So there's only 8 tenths between himself and Kenda, so half a second, sorry. So let's not rule out the championship leader as we go back on board with the pair battling in second and third. Now these two need to be careful this phase of the race, because while they're battling with each other, the race leaders managed to open up a gap of 2.6 seconds. Myself personally, if I was Ahmed under this situation, I'd be going full blast in my ERS, trying to get as big a gap as possible, because it looks like with the wet weather here to stay, could be just a one-stop strategy. And as opposed to the dry tyres, with the intermediates and the wet tyres, there's more of an option of an undercut, whereas with the dry tyres it's more of an overcut. The longer you stay on the tyres, the more chance you've got of gaining a position as you go on board the helicopter, as you go through the Formula E chicane once again. So the gap is now 3.4 seconds. As you can see, with the two pair of them squabbling, they managed to pull a train, so they're pulling Kendo along, who's pulling Phantom Nug along, and Ross is going to go for a move up the inside, so the Haas definitely opening up his ERS there. And he's going to make that move stick, or Jamshed's going to throw it back at the inside. No, he's going to think. Another 24 laps to go. I'm not going to battle with that. So Kieran has also incurred a penalty there, as Al-Sharaj, as I was talking about there. He's going to try and run and hide. Surely he's put on his ERS on. Blasted away from the rest. He's opened up almost a 4-second advantage now as Kenda goes up the inside of Jamshed's. He looks to have overshot the corner. Jamshed's managed to go past. He needs to be careful now, because while he's getting up to speed, the second driver, Phantom Nug, is going to be in with a chance of pouncing and gaining that position back. And he looks to have recovered. So it's definitely this little gaggle of cars between second and fifth, but as we touched it on it, Jamshed has managed to lose a bit of ground to Ross as he was squabbling with Kenda first corner. I've said that word far too often, must have said it about 20 times already. So lap 7 now, there already seems to be a lot of activity, a lot of bustling activity. We've had 2 retirements, myself and Duncan. Obviously I'm not classed as an official entry into this race, so scratch that. As we go on board with the helicopter once again, and we see the Ferrari Jamshed almost being pushed around by the AlphaTauri as Phantom Nug closer than it has been before. Yeah, they appear to just be pulling each other along, so we'll follow these through to, oh, and Kenda throws up the inside, a dive bomb, as we saw in Canada. He manages to get the position, and as we saw in Canada as well, he was on Jamshed's, and he did push Jamshed's off in Canada, and Jamshed lost 2 places, and wouldn't you know it, it's happened again. He's lost 2 more places. Curse that man in the AlphaTauri, the Ferrari driver, will be saying. And it's what happens when you leave the door open. He'd be like a ferret up a drain pipe. And Phantom Nug's managed to get ahead of his teammate, as he'll try and stick with Kenda. But as we touched on there, with the amount of fighting that they all had, they've lost 3.5 seconds to the Haas. So the Haas drivers are clear by 7 seconds, including the race leaders. So let's just have a run down the grid. As we see Sohail, he must have had a pit stop, I imagine, because there's no way he'd normally be that far down. Let's have a look. Yeah, so he has had the 1 pit stop in the Williams, and we also had the 1 penalty so far during the race. That is come from Kieran, 13, Kieran Funde. So position change, the real winners of the position change got to be Kinder in the Mercedes. And a fantastic helicopter cam. I wish they had the helicopter cam as an option to keep it from the camera, because they'd use that all race as coin. Going as fast as he's gone before, he's definitely got the intermediates turned on now, as he's in 13th place. I see Ranger, he's going to be battling with Moe. I'm pretty sure Moe's actually gained a position there, but he's going to want to try and stick with the Mercedes driver and try and pick his way through the field with him. And you got Kieran currently in 10th place, taking a point home for the Williams, and he will be defending this position as it goes, and we have a first pit stop of the race. Now let's find out if this pit stop is damage, or He's going to try and change the tyres. It looks like he's going to be the first to change to the dry tyres. I'm not entirely sure that is going to pay off, putting that as politely as I may. As Kinder has smashed it into the wall there, we'll go on board with Kieran, Ashwin. So Ashwin should be able to, he should be coming close to Kinder. See the remains of his car, and there it is. Let's see it with Kieran's view. Yep. Mercedes stranded in the middle of the car. Kinder, no Alpines this week to smash into him, so he'll do it himself. So we do have a safety car. Now, has this come at the right moment for Ashwin? He was pitted for the dry tyres. I still think that was a mistake coming in this early. Wow, it is still a wet circuit. So it's interesting now. What do you do if you're the race leader? Do you come in now, risk losing the lead? You've also got a fresh set of tyres on. You're going to lose a couple of places, especially when you've already worked hard for that 5-second advantage. So let's just see what happens. Because if he does come in, yeah, he's choosing to come in. So his teammate Ross is going to have to stack up, but Ross is going to have to stay out. So Ross is going to stay out with his worn Inters. He will become the race leader. Kender choosing to pit the lead Ferrari Nuggets has also chose to come in. So front two now is Ross in the Haas, Jumpstead in the Ferrari, and the drivers who were second and fourth have chose to come in. As we see, Dill, a fine performance so far from the Alfa Romeo midfielder, as he just overtakes Kender, who's come out the pit lane. So Dill's inherited a couple of places there. He's got himself in amongst the front six. So good return so far for himself. As Tricot chose to put the dry tyres on again. So that's another person who's gone with the dry tyres. And you see, interestingly, Kieran's put the hards on. So that is a very interesting strategy, because the hard tyres, obviously in the colder conditions, are going to be really, really difficult to switch on. You're going to be driving for a good few laps until you really get the performance you want from them. As we see, Ashwin, who's changed tyres once again. He originally put the mediums on, and now he's gone on the super softs, as we touched on there, for the temperatures and the track grip. They will get switched on a lot quicker when the Williams, so he'll be wanting to dispossess of Kieran as quickly as he can once the safety car comes in. Moe has also put the mediums on. Instinct once again. Very questionable strategy taken by the Williams drivers to put the hard tyres on, because they will take a long time to switch on, and you'd have to question why, because there's still 20 laps to go, and I'm pretty sure the mediums could have lasted. And RSC on the hards. And you see now as well, with regards to the front drivers who unfortunately couldn't pick because they were stacking, they're going to lose all these positions now. It might have been an advantage to stack. You wouldn't have lost so many positions. So let's see. Yep, so the Haas choose to come in, and Jamshed's in the Ferrari also choose to come in, and we also see, yeah, other drivers also choosing to come in. So I don't know if he originally did pit stop. He originally pitted for another set of Inters. Still also pit. Let's see if they want the dry tyres. So Ross, I think, has got it right with a new set of softs. Jamshed, who I believe can go into the race now on mediums, just depends on the pace of Ross on the softs. And you also have Dill on the soft tyres, so Alfa Romeo guys acting, thinking fast. You see teammate Coyne, who stayed out on the Inters. Interesting strategy, let's see how it pays off. Trico Perez in the McLaren, the highest we've seen him indeed today. Another one. He's managed to pit as well, so it's worked out wonderfully well for the McLaren guys. He managed to pit under the safety car, and due to the drivers being uncertain of strategy, not wanting to roll the dice with regards to them being leaders, he's managed to pick up a few places. And Anasalaj, he's managed to pit and retain the race lead, but again, another one who's put the hard tyres on, so once the safety car comes in, it'll be interesting to see just how the strategy works, especially with Kender on the mediums, Trick on the mediums, Coyne on the Inters. So Coyne could be the cork in the bottle here. unless he pits this lap. And if he does pit this lap, he's called it far too late, because he will just go right back to the back of the grid. Maybe he likes speed there. Who knows? He's a Scouser after all. Ross in 5th on the softs. So let's just see if the safety car comes back in this lap. No, we've had no message as of yet for the safety car to come in, which is good news for the drivers who are still trundling around at the back. So Kieran probably listened to my stream. He's decided to put the mediums on. RC has stayed out on the hard, so he's going to put himself in a precautious position. Instinct, who we believe is still on the hards. Coin has now decided to pit from the inters. A couple laps too late there. He's going to be in a hurry to try and catch up with the safety car. He's going to put another set of mediums on. So he's going to put a set of mediums on. So Kieran better get his skates on, because he's not going to catch the safety car at this rate. So I'm quite surprised as well to not see the runners on the hard tyres going side to side, try and get a bit of heat in the tyres. There we go, see, now he's moving, now he's wiggling. The guys on the soft tyres wanted to wiggle as much as those on the hards, if you will. And another fantastic view as we see the Mayhem Dolphins Hard Rock Cafe in the background. Stadium, the place where the Patriots go and win, regular occurrence. Big up my boys in New England. Okay. So, due to his retirement, Duncan is actually driving the safety car. So don't be surprised if it wants to stay out for a few more laps so we can see what it's like to drive at the front. Yep. Ahmed trying to push Duncan on there. He's trying to say, come on, get out of the way, your race is over. Let us get racing again. And we now have a full deck, we have a full 13 cars. Everyone's aligned with 18 laps to go. Just over a third of the race gone. So hopefully it doesn't hold the pack up too much where people can incur penalties, because there's nothing worse than that, especially from a spectator and a racer's viewpoint. So as the safety car makes its way in, Ahmed, I reckon, is going to go as soon as he takes his corner. Kenda's going to try and stick with him. He's going to try and read what he's doing. Kenda should have more grip because he's on the mediums. It looks like Ahmed's managed to catch a couple of them asleep. As we see, the McLaren has managed to put up a gap to 1.2. And Ahmed gets away the race leader, and Ross already makes a move up the inside of Trico Perez. And Ashwin also gets past Phantom Nug, so that's not going to be great for the potential. And Moe, so Phantom Nug is potentially got a bit of damage there. No, he's caught in a bit of a Brackley sandwich as the team from Oxford, Williams and the Mercedes squash him. And look who's there on the scene. Yep, it's definitely on the scene, alright. It's Coin. So Ahmed Siraj, the race leader on the hard tyres, is going to be under pressure from Kenda on the mediums. The gap 4 tenths. Kenda will be well aware that with the likes of Ross, Trico, Chamshed's behind him, he needs to get this move done as soon as he can. As soon as DRS becomes active, he will want to get that AlphaTauri as quickly as he can past the Haas. So let's see, I think he's gone fastest. No. He's on board with Kenda. And change the position there. Yuji Ashwin goes past Jamshed, so no, Jamshed's great racecraft there managed to go up and under